Hello everyone, this is Anal Balluraya from Canada Engineering College. Okay, so we were discussing on graphs, hashing, files, and their organizations. Today's topic is graph operations. Okay, so under graph operations, what we are going to study? So today we are going to study on DFS, that is depth first search, then BFS, that is breadth first search, then spanning tree, then bi-connected graph. We will learn all these things in detail. Okay, all these concepts in detail. Okay, so let us start with our first topic, that is nothing but depth first search. Depth first search. So what is this depth first search? So let us just understand the explanation first, then we will understand the concept with an example. Okay, so here we begin the search. So of course the topic is search, so we need to search here. So we begin the search by visiting the vertex v. Okay, so where do we get the vertex? We get the vertex in the graph. So in this application, visiting consists of printing the nodes vertex field. So we need to as we search the element, we have to write the vertex. Okay, vertex now name. So when we understand the example, will be clear with this definition. So after that, what we do next, we select an unvisited vertex w. So unvisited vertex, they have named it as w from V's adjacency list. Okay, so V's adjacency list, so which is uh, vertex. How do we select the next vertex? When we have one particular vertex, how do we select the next vertex? So that we select using the adjacency list of V with the, so which vertex will be there in the adjacent list of V? So the V is adjacent vertex will be there in the adjacency list of V. Okay, then carry out DFS on W. Okay, so that is nothing but if we have a vertex V, okay, then we will search the V's adjacency list. So we get the vertex W, that is which is unvisited. Then we go to W. Then from there we carry out the DFS operation on W, and this process goes on. Okay, till where? Till all the vertices are visited. Okay, yes. So what they tell? We preserve our current position in V's adjacency list by placing it on a stack. Okay, so we need a stack here to keep track of what we are doing. That is like where we have visited. Okay, so to get the understanding of the V's adjacency list, we use a stack. Okay, our search reaches a vertex U that has no unvisited vertices on its adjacency list. At that point, remove a vertex from top of the stack and continue the process. Previously visited vertices are discarded and unvisited vertices are visited and placed on the stack. Okay, so we need to do this operation till the stack is empty. So let us understand this concept better by taking an example. So let us take our first example. Okay, we'll take one or two examples for each concept so that all the concepts are clear. So we have a graph here. Okay, so let us take this graph as G1. Okay, so let us say we have a graph here with 5 vertices and 5 edges. Okay, 5 vertices and 5 edges. So according to the rule, first we need to have the source vertex. So source vertex, we can start from any source vertex. So here the source vertex is, they have given us 2. That means we need to start our depth first search by the source vertex 2. Yes. So what we are doing, yes, before that let us understand the stack. So what is the principle of a stack? In a stack we have only one end and we can push and pop the elements at only one end. Push means put the element into the stack, pop means remove the element from the stack. Okay, so as per that, first we have the source vertex itself, that will put it into the stack. Yes, after that from source vertex we need to go to the next adjacent vertices. So in its adjacency vertices we have 1 and we have 4. So we can visit to any one of the vertex. So here let me go in an alphabetical order. Okay, or let me go in an order. So from 2 I will go to 1. So as I visit the vertices 1, I have to write it into the stack, or I will push that element into the stack. Okay, so that is what they have shown in the first and the second step. The second step they have pushed the 1 into the stack. In first step they have pushed the 2 into the stack. Then next what we have to do, okay, from 1, okay, so we need to again see which vertices are in its adjacency list. So we have 2 and 3. 2 is already visited, so we have only one option, that is nothing but 3. So push the 3 into the stack as I have shown here. So that is what our third step says. From 3 we have again 2 vertices in its adjacency list, three vertices in its adjacency list, 1, 4 and 5. 1 is already visited, so ignore it. So you have 4 and 5, so according to alphabetical order I have 4. Okay, so that is the new vertex, and push it into the stack. Remember, there is no hard and fast rule that we need to follow alphabetical order only. What is important is that whenever we get a new vertex here, that vertex we need to explore it. Okay, and we need to go to the next vertex. That is how the it goes. Okay, yes. So when we come to the 4, we have 2 and 3 in its adjacency list, so both are visited. So what I need to do is I need to come back. So how do I come back? I come back by popping the element 4. Okay, so how to pop the element 4 from the stack? Yes, so I go to the top and remove that element. Okay, so that is how I have done. So that is what they have shown in the step 5. Okay, they have popped the element 4. Now again I come back to 3. From 3 again you have 3 elements, 1, 4 and 5 in its adjacency list. So I have already visited 1 and 4, and then I have not visited 5. So put the 5 into the stack. So that is what they have shown. Okay, yes. So now yes, all the vertices has been visited, but we know that all the vertices has been visited. We can see it. But how does the computer algorithm comes to know when it has to stop? Okay, it will again see the stack. Okay, so in from the 5, it has only 3 in its adjacency list and it is visited. So remove the 5 from the stack. So again I come to 3. 3 has again 1 to 4 and 5 in its adjacency list and all are visited. Okay, so again it will remove 3 from the stack. That means it will go back to 1. 1 already has 1 and 3 in its adjacency list, even that is also visited. So remove it from the stack. Remove means what? Pop from the stack. Then finally you have 2. So 2 have 1 and 4 in its adjacency list, both are visited. So remove 2 from the stack or pop 2 from the stack. Okay, now we have reached the situation where there is no elements left on the stack. So this will signal, or this will tell the algorithm that you need to stop. Okay, you need to stop. So that is how your DFS algorithm works. Okay, so let us take one more example and understand this concept still better. Okay, so let me give one problem for you in our worksheet. Here again we'll understand. So let me draw a graph for you, and for that graph we will find out the depth first search. So I am taking a slightly complicated graph so that we can discuss all the cases. Okay. So let me write my output here. So let us see how our output comes. Okay. Yes. And here when you give the graph, you need to start with the current working node. So current working node, let me take it as A. Okay. So let me write it here. Current working node is A, or means starting vertex. Okay. Current working node or starting vertex. starting vertex is equal to A. So this is given already in the problem. Yes, so we were discussing about the DFS concept, so we need to know about queue. No, so we need to know about stack. So in the stack, always the top will be in its below top when no, there is no element in the stack, top will be at the end, and whichever element we put last, that we remove first. So this is the LIFO structure, last in first out, which we understood in the LIFO principle, which we understood in the stack module. Okay, so let us start. Okay, let us start this thing. So currently working node or starting vertex A. So I will just put it with the arrow. Okay, I'll just put it into the arrow here, A. So put that into the stack first, because that is the first visited one. So put A into the stack and put your A into the output. Okay, yes. So you already visited A. Please mark it. Okay, please mark it. So which tells that it is visited. Okay, so I'll just make it simply yellow. I'll make it yellow, which tells that it is visited. Okay, yes, slightly yellow, that's all. Yes, now from A I can go to B and yes. Okay, now I have to visit one vertex. That is a rule here. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to visit a B or B only, that is alphabetical order only. There is no hard and fast rule that you have to follow the alphabetical order only. So what I will do is I will follow the alphabetical order here. Okay, so according to that I will go to next vertex, that is B. So put it into the stack and write into the output. Okay, and change your current working node from A to B. Yes, from the B. Okay, I have already visited that, so I will just mark it. Okay, I'll just mark it. Yes, now from B I can come back to A, and there is no any other vertex to explore. So what I do is nothing but I go back to my stack and I remove that element B from the stack. Okay, so I come back to the once again I come back to A. Okay, now again once again my current working node is A. Now from A I have already visited B, so I have only S is the as the option. So I change the currently working node from A to S. So when I visit S, I put it into the stack. I put the S into the stack. From S again, yes. So when I have already visited S, so in my output also I have to write S. From S I have two options, that is from S I can go to C, I can go to A, I can go to G. A is already visited, so I can go now to C. Okay, so what I do is nothing but above S I write the C in the stack, or I push the C into the stack and I put it in my output sequence, and I mark S because it is already visited. Then I change my current working node from S to C. Okay, yes. After that, once I reach C, what I do is nothing but I have again three options. I can go to D, I can go to E, and I can go to F. And of course, I have come from S only. Okay, so I need not think about S once again. So from C again I can go to D. Okay, so I will go to D. So my currently working node is D. Okay, so when I go to D, what I have to do? I have to push D into the stack. Then I need to write D in the output sequence. Then I need to change the current working node. Yes, from D once again I cannot go anywhere. Okay, I cannot go anywhere. So what I do is nothing but that time I just mark it that it is visited. Then I come back to C once again. Okay, I come back to C once again. When I come back to C once again, what I do is nothing but I swap, that is I remove the D from the D from the stack, and I also change the current working node here. Once again from C I can go to D, S and E. So D and S is already visited, so I will go back to E. I'll go to E. From C to E I will go. So as I go into E, write E into the output sequence and push E into the stack and mark E, okay, as visited. Okay, mark E as visited and change the second, yes, and change the currently working node from E. Okay, from E again I have option to go to H, and I also have option to go to C. Okay, that's all. So of course E C B I already come from C. So from E I am going back to I am going back to I'm going to H because I can go to H. So write H into the output sequence and push H into the stack. Okay, yes, and make it as a currently working node. Now from again H, yes, C is over H also. I also visited. Okay, I mean E is visited. Now H is also visited. Okay, so when H is visited, make it as a currently working node and remove the arrow from the E. Now from H, I have only one option, that is I can go to G. So write G here in the output sequence, push G into the stack, then mark it. Okay, because it is visited, and again change the currently working node to G. From G again I have only one option, that is I can go to F because all others are visited. When I tell I have only one option, that means other nodes are visited. Okay, so from S, from G I am visiting F node. Okay, I am visiting F node. Yes. So I change the pointer to F and I make F as visited. Sorry, I make F as visited and I push it into the stack. I push F into the stack and after that I write it into the output sequence. Yes. Now what happens? Now students, again from F I can go to C and G, but both are visited. So what I do is I go back. So how do I come? How do I come to know where to go back? Using the stack. So in stack from F I can go to G. So remove F from the stack and go to G. Okay. So from G again I can go to S, A and F, so all are visited. So where to go back? Go to H because in the stack after G, H is there. So pop G first, okay, from the stack. So you go to H. From again H I can go to E, I can go to G. So in the stack I can, when in the stack pop the H. So you cannot go anywhere, any new vertex. It's like when you cannot go to any new vertex, you come back, and when you come back, you have to pop the limit. So again, I go back to E. In E again, you can go to C. Okay, C only one option C, and you have already come from H, so you are not going to H again. You are going to C to pop that. Now from C again, you have D, E, F, all things, so all are visited. So pop C. So when you pop C, you come back to S. Now from S you can go to A, G and C, all are visited. Okay, so pop S. So finally you come back once again to where you have started A. Okay, so you have already visited all other vertices there, so remove the A. So once you do that, your stack is empty. So when your stack is empty, it will signal the algorithm that you have to stop the operation. Okay, so whatever output sequence you get now, that is the DFS for the given figure. Okay, so that is the DFS for the given figure. This is how we work. Okay, so stack we use here as a data structure to find out the DFS. Okay, so that is about the DFS. Now let us talk about the one more concept, that is called as breadth first search, or that is also called as BFS. So we have properly understood about the DFS. Now in BFS, that is breadth first search, we will you make use of one more data structure, that is queue. Okay, so what is the rule of the queue? In the rule of the queue is that you enter from the rear end, you go out from the front end. So that is the concept with the queue. Okay, yes, so that we make use of when we find out the breadth first search. So let us just read the theory before we see the example. So like how we have seen the example of the depth first search, now we will see the example for the breadth first search. So the breadth first search starts at vertex V once again and marks it as visited. So that is how even it worked in DFS also. Let us see what is the change. It then visits each of the vertices on the V's adjacency list. Okay, so here is the change what happens. Okay, this is the main change between the BFS and DFS. In DFS we go to one vertex, then we vertex that new vertex, then we again go front. But here it is not like that. Here it is like you when you visit a vertex, you have to mark or you have to visit all its adjacent vertices. That is the important thing. Okay, and you have to put it in the queue, and that is how it proceeds here. Okay, there only one, here all, there one and go front from that one new vertex. Here it is not like that. Here it is like whichever vertex you come from, that vertex all other vertex you need to visit at once. So this is like a pre-order visit. Okay, this is like a pre-order visit. Okay, so same thing when to stop. So of course when the queue is empty, that's is the time when we need to stop here also. Okay, so let us see the example, that time we'll understand the concept better. So before that we will just read some theory. So BFS starts at vertex V and marks it as visited. It then visits each of the vertices on V's adjacency list. Okay, adjacency list, V's adjacency list, you will have vertex which are near to V or which are adjacent to V. Okay, when we have visited all the vertices on V's adjacency list, we visit all unvisited vertices that are adjacent to the first vertex on V's adjacency list. To implement this, we visit each vertex and place the vertex in the queue. Okay, as we have already told, that is the same thing, the theory also they are telling. So when we have exhausted an adjacency list, we remove a vertex from the queue and proceed by examining each of vertices on its adjacency list. Ignore unvisited vertices are visited and placed on the queue. Visited vertices are ignored. When queue is empty, stop the process. Okay, so this was a little long theory. So let us understand. We can take the same example which we have taken for the breadth first search, and let us sorry, for the depth first search, and we can continue with the concept. Same example which is taken for that same graph which I have taken for the DFS. Now I'll explain the using the same graph. I'll also explain the second concept, that is breadth first search. Okay, so let us take draw that same diagram once again. Okay, in our worksheet. Once again, a graph will have vertex and the edges. That round circling thing is vertex, then the line is the edge. Okay, so let us write our output sequence here. As the graph is down, little down, I have drawn. Write our output sequence here. So here also my current working node is A. I will start from A. Okay, so current working node is always given. Remember that. Otherwise, you can start any vertex. Okay, if they don't give the current working node, then you can start any vertex with any vertex. Currently working node, okay, is A. That means we have to start from A. Okay, and here what we are making use of the queue concept. Okay, so what is the queue concept? It is like first entered value will go out first, so that is called as FIFO. Whereas in stack, the last entered element will go out first, so that was the difference. Okay, and for DFS we are using stack data structure, and here we are using queue data structure. So always in queue we have two ends, rear end and front end. We enter from the rear end and we go out from the front end. Okay, so of course, so whatever we put element from the rear end, that will come into the front end first. Okay, because that is which has to go. So of course here A is there. Okay, so we'll start we'll put A, that is the first current working node. Okay, that we'll put into the output. Okay, and from A we can go to B and S. So A is already visited. I'll just mark it. Okay, then from A I will go to B and E. So once again here there is no hard and fast rule that you have to follow alphabetical order only. So you can go to S first and you can write B also. So okay, I will go in the alphabetical order. Okay, so here first you write A, so A is already visited, so from A you can write B and S, okay, into the queue. Okay, and once again at the same time you can put in the output sequence also, after A you have visited B and S. Okay, yes. Now B and S is already visited. Uh, please make it, mark it both B and S together. Yes. Now next where to go? Okay, how to select the next current working node? That we will come to know using the elements in the queue. In the queue, which is the first element? I mean, we have B in the front element. So go to B and delete that B from the queue. Okay. Yes. Now in the B, what do we have? Yes, from B we cannot go anywhere. So once again, you have to go to the next element in the queue. So in the next element in the queue, you have S. So you visit S. Okay, and remove B. Yes. Now S is already visited. Okay, so you can remove it. Okay, from the queue, and that time you need to see where it is leading. I mean, it is going to C and G. So you can write C and G in the output sequence, and you have to add that C and G into the queue. So C is visited first, then then G. Okay, so together it is visited. So C and G you can mark now. Okay, so in my queue, C I have written first. So please remove that C from the queue. Okay, and make C as the current working node. Yes, from DC again I have many options. Okay, so D, E, F and S. S is already visited. So add D, E, F into the queue. Okay, so as you visit, and when you add into the queue, you have to add into the output also. Please add D, E, F. Okay, yes, and we also have to mark. Okay, that is visited, no? So D, E, in the graph I will mark D, E and F. Yes, where to go next? You have to see the queue. So in the queue, G is the next element. So make the current working node as G, and you need to remove the G from the queue. Okay, you remove the G from the queue. Now from G, all other places are visited. So I am not writing that. That is F, S, and H is not visited. So H you need to put into the queue. H put into the queue and mark. Okay, now which is next element? Yes, G is already done. Now I have to yes, from G is already done. After that I have went to C, correct? No, so I mean that's how to decide the next working node. That's all. D is done, correct? No, so next working node is D, because in the queue you have D. So remove the D from the queue. Okay, and go to the queue. Make it as a current working node. Now again from D you cannot yes, so students remember, after when you add EF after F, you went to H, okay, from G, correct? So when you H you add it into the queue, remember to add into the output sequence also. Okay, yes, so H also visited. Okay, so D, you are in D. So from D there is no new vertex. So you have to come back once again. How to come back? You have to see the queue. So in the queue you come back to E, because E is there in the queue. So make E as a current working node now. Remember here you need to visit all the vertices. So from E, you once again there is nothing, all are visited. So you come back. So when you come back to F. So remove it in the from the queue and make it as a current working node. So once again in F, all are visited. Okay, so you go to the you make the current working node as H. Yes. So when H is also all the vertices are visited, please remove that H from the queue. Now queue is empty. Now see there queue is empty. Okay. So that signals algorithm that which signals the algorithm that all the vertices has been, yes, visited. So this is the output whatever is obtained. Okay. Now the output whatever is obtained, that is the BFS. That is the BFS for the below figure given. Okay, below figure. Just remember here one thing, that is nothing but when you put the element into the queue, the same time you need to put it to the output also. If you don't do either of the one, that is, say you don't put in element in the queue, you put into output, or you don't put into the output and you put into the queue, like just what happened now. So if any one thing is also one thing you do also, that is an error. Okay, so you need to put both together. Remember that. Okay, and there is no hard and fast rule that you would feel you have to follow the output, you have to follow the alphabetical sequence only, any sequence. But here you have to remember, in BFS one vertex you visit and all its neighbors you have need to put it into the output, and queue. Whereas in depth first search you don't put, you put all the neighbors, only one neighbor you need to put, any neighbor is okay. So that is the rule. So that is about the BFS. Okay, yes. So we will see one more concept now, that is nothing but spanning tree. Okay, and here once again we will see how to draw the tree using this BFS and DFS concept. Okay, first, that what is a spanning tree? So what is a tree? A tree is the one which should be acyclic in nature. Okay, so that is a tree. So what is the difference between spanning tree and a tree? In a spanning tree you have to see there are two rules. The first rule is nothing but the first rule is nothing but it must have all vertices. Two rules. Okay, two rules we can tell. It must have, it has yeah, or okay, I'll just repeat it. It must have all the vertices. Okay, then the second main rule is nothing but it should have one edge less than a vertex. And since it is a tree, it should not have cycles. Okay, so another sub rules, it should not have any cycle. It should not have any cycle. Should not have any cycle. Why? Because it is a tree. Tree does not have cycles. So we can see the example there. So this is a graph. Okay, wherever I am pointing now, that is a graph. So it has cycles, it has everything. So there you can do two spanning trees here. Okay, any number of spanning trees. Edge arrangement can be anything. So you can observe there you have four vertex and one edge lesser than that. Okay, so that is right. It is three edges and four vertices. Another one more diagram where all the four vertices are there. They are connected. Yes, they should be connected. Remember, they should be connected by an edge, and it also have one edge less. Okay, so four vertex is there means three edge, five vertex is there means four edge, like that. So that is the main rule of the spanning tree. Even we can also draw the depth first search spanning tree and breadth first search spanning tree. Okay, so same concept here. Here we have an addition concept. We need to draw the tree. Okay, as we find the breadth first search and depth first search, in the same way, okay, that same concept you need to use. That is nothing but for a depth first search you have to use a queue, and for breadth first search you need to for depth first search you have to use a stack, and for breadth first search you have to queue. Once again I'll repeat, for breadth first search you have to use a queue, and for depth first search you have to use a stack. Okay, and put it into the output sequence and also draw a tree. Okay, so that was an extra thing what you need to do in a depth first spanning tree, and the depth, depth first spanning tree and the breadth first spanning tree. So we'll also see one example so that we'll understand better. Okay, so we can see it in this our spanning tree worksheet. Okay, yes, so let us see the given example first. Yes, so you can see here the depth first spanning tree example. So source they have already given. Source is the beginning starting vertex. Okay, so 0, it is a 0. So we can now write here output. Okay, our output sequence we can write here for the example, and we can draw our stack here because that is important for us. Okay, because otherwise we cannot draw the tree. So we can just see how this tree is made. Okay, and one more example of our own we can take to understand this concept better. Yes, so starting vertex is 0. Okay, so since 0 is starting vertex, please add add it. Okay, from 0 where do you go? Yes, so already one vertex you have to draw here. Okay, as it is shown here. So once you visit, also put it into the output sequence. From 0 where you go, you can go to two places, you can go anywhere, remember that. Okay, you have 1 and 2. I will go in alphabetical order, so I'll go to the 1. So I'll just make it 1 as the next vertex, and I'll put it, I mean 1 as the next vertex, current working node. Okay, whatever, 1. So I write this one in my output sequence. Okay, and I'll update it to 1. And from 1, once again I have two options, three options I can have. Okay, since 0 is already visited, okay, we can mark that. Okay, we can mark that which are visited, 0 and 1 is visited. 1 I can go to 3 and 4. Okay, so 3 I'll go to 3, so I make it as marked. Okay, and I'll put that 3 into the stack, because for 1 I visited this 3. So as I put it into the stack, okay, I put it into the output sequence. Also draw the tree. That is nothing but from 0 you have to put an edge to 1. From 1 you have to put an edge to 3. Okay, so I'll just put show you how this tree has been drawn. From 3, okay, next where once again you have to update it into 3 in the same way. One same thing I'm doing, students, what I've taught you in the depth first search normal. One extra thing what I'm doing is that I'm drawing the tree here. No, all other steps are same. From 3, once again I can go to 7. Okay, so mark it, then put that 7 into the stack and also draw a tree. So how to draw a tree? Write the vertex, then put a line there. Okay, so then what I do is nothing but, yes, from 7 I can go to 4, 5, 6. Many options are there. So of course it's a depth first search. I'll go to 4. So when I put the store 4, what I do is nothing but I draw here 4 here. Okay, then I put it into the output sequence. Then I also put it into the stack. Then I mark it because I'm already there. Yes. Now from 4 I cannot go to 2 because okay, I cannot go to 3, right? So we had selected 3, correct? 2 and 3 we had, and I told you we can visit anything. Okay, so now once again I cannot go to 3. Also I have come from 7 only. Okay, so that means what? You cannot go anywhere. Now I need to go back. So when I go back, I remove that 4 because from the stack. Okay, in the tree also you need to come back to 7, so that you need to just update your current working to 7 there in the tree also, then go back to 7. So the 7 again, whichever is visited you need not, you have to ignore. Then you need to go to 5. So when you go to 5, make it as a current working node. 5 you have to write here, 5 are in the output sequence, 5 you have to write it in the stack. Then you need to draw edge from 7 to 5, because from 7 you are going to 5, not from 4, remember. Okay, so from 7 you are going to 5. Okay, so same concept. Yes, now we make your update your current working node to 5. Now 5 is already visited, to mark. From 5 I can go to 2. Okay, that is a next vertex, so update in the stack, also in the tree. From 5 you are going to 2. I'll just mark here. Okay, the tick means I visited. Okay, yes, also mark it 2 here. From 2 again, where I can go? From 2 I can go to 6. Okay, so that is only the remaining one, so I'll go to 6. So one more line you need to draw. So 6 and put it into the stack. Also put it into the output sequence. Mark it. Yes. Now we can see that all are visited. Okay, all are visited. But how does the computer come to know? Computer will again continue. Okay, we know our problem is over, but for computer the problem is not over. Okay, so it will come back again. It will go to 6. From 6 nothing is there. It will come back to 2. From 2 all are visited. Once again it will come back to 5. That is nothing but it will start popping the elements from the stack. Then it will go to 5. 5 all are visited. It again pop. Then 5, 7. 7 all are visited. Pop. Then it go to 3. From 3 all are visited. Go back. Again 1. So going back means that continuously that currently working node will change, students. Okay. So this is same operation coming back also. That time I will show. Then once again it will go to 1, nothing is there, back. So 0 from starting. From there also you cannot do anything, stop. So now students, you can observe that the tree has been built as it is shown. Okay, tree is built, and even your all the elements, that is how many, 7 elements, correct? No, eight elements, all the 8 elements are there in your output sequence, which tells that your answer is correct. Okay, so depth first search, this is the depth first search spanning tree. And why it is a spanning tree, you can observe, you have how many number of vertices here, you have 5 6 7 8 vertices. Okay, so you have 8 vertices, and how many number of edges you have, you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, yes, 7 edges, correct. So it is a spanning tree, spanning tree. And one more thing what you can observe is nothing but, main thing is nothing, one thing, main thing is it should have one edge less than the vertex. Other than that, it is not having any, it is not having any cycle, not having any cycle, it should not have any cycle also, because it is a tree, because it's a tree. Yes, so let us go to next concept, that is the best first search and spanning tree. Yes, so take a queue here. Yes, take a queue. Before that, we'll take output here. Okay, again take a queue. For best first search we use queue data structure. So again start from 0. Okay, because that is a given, source is 0. Okay, they'll give you currently working node or source, anything, start from there. Okay, from 0 you together you are working, going to 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2. So put that 1 and 2 in the queue. Okay, so of course you will come from rear end and you go out from front end, 1 and 2. So in the meantime, one extra thing what we are doing is nothing but, you write 0 1 2 here. Then extra thing is nothing but, from 0, 2 vertices you need to draw, that is 1 and 2, and draw an edge between 1 and 0 and 1 and 0 and 2. Okay, in your output. Then what you will do is nothing but, now where to go, you have to see the queue, you have to see the queue. So from 0 you are going to 1. Now you need to 1, because 1 is there in the queue, you are from 0 you are going to 1. So update the current working node to 1. Now 1 you can go to 3 and 4. 1 from 1, because 0 already visited, 3 and 4, so make it as visited and draw 2 vertices here down. Okay, 3 and 4 from 1, that is should be from 1, and draw an edge between them. Okay, yes, and also put that 3 and 4 into the queue, also put in 3 and 4 into the output. Okay, into that output sequence. Yes, now come to 2, because you should know which is the next working node. So to come to 2 and remove that arrow, and also change the current working node to 2. This is means current working node, that arrow means 2. Again you can go to 5 and 6. Okay, 5 and 6. So again draw 2 vertices here. Okay, that is 5 and 6, and draw an edge between them. Also put it into the output sequence, also put it that 5 and 6 into the queue. Okay, yes, now come to 3, next come to 3. Okay, now again in 3 you put it out, yes, pop, remove it from the front end, that is 3. Then from 3 where you can go, you can go to 7. Okay, 7, yes, so put that 7 into the output sequence. Okay, put that 7 into the output rear end here. Okay, also draw a vertex from 7, 3 to 7. Okay, edge. Now here also you can observe, you have around how many, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 vertices, and also 7 edge, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 edge, and there is a breadth first spanning tree. Okay, breadth first spanning tree. Yes, did our algorithm stop? No. Okay, you need to check all the elements, you need to check all the elements. So what you do next, you come to 4. Okay, you come to 4. In 4 also all other vertices, unvisited vertices are visited. You go to 5. Again from 5 all I mean unvisited vertices are visited. So 6, go to 6. Again 6, go to 6 means making or updating the currently working node. Remember that currently working pointer. Again remove that 6. Then go to the final one, 7. Okay. Now queue is empty. When queue is empty, that tells you that the algorithm should stop, and the output whatever is obtained is your BFS output. Okay, that is nothing but BFS output. and the tree whichever is created is called as breadth first spanning tree. The tree which is created is breadth first spanning tree. And you can also observe here there are no cycles in the here there are no cycles. Hence it is a breadth first spanning tree. Okay, no cycles means a tree doesn't have a cycle. Remember, tree is a graph. Okay, that is all graphs are not tree, but all trees are graphs. Remember that. Okay, so I have also I have a worksheet if you need one more problem. So you can just see there one more working problem, that is our spanning tree worksheet. Quickly let us take one problem. Okay, so this extra one I am making for this so that you understand it better, the concept. So I have taken a slightly complicated example here. All examples are easy only, but some examples which appear to be complicated. Okay, so I have taken such examples only. So let me draw that. The tree is appearing to be very complicated. Yes, let us find the BFS spanning tree for that. This is an example. Okay, BFS spanning tree for the graph. This is a graph. Okay, which has everything. Okay, so I can draw my tree here. Okay, I can draw the BFS spanning tree here. Okay, and definitely need a queue. Without queue I will not be able to solve the problem. Okay, so let me take this as the rear end and this as the front end. Okay, so I need a queue, definitely I need a queue, and here let me write my answer. So everything is over. Yes, so let me take my currently working node as 1. Okay, let me take it as 1. So of course add it here. So draw one vertex here, 1. Next from 1, of course, where do I go? From 1 I can go to 1, 4 and 2, mark it first. Then 4 and 2 it's visited. Okay, I told you you can visit it in any way. There is no hard and fast rule. So I'll visit 4 first, then I'll visit 2. 4 2, I will 4 2. Okay, so what you are supposed to do is nothing but draw 1 4 here, 1 2 here, and you need to connect this. Okay, and put it into the queue, 4 and 2. So 1 was there in the queue, so it is already gone. So now 1 4 and 2. Okay, yes. So next from 4 and 2, which is the next in the queue? So 4 is there in the queue, so please remove it in the queue. Okay, so 2 I'll just update 2. Now currently working node is 4. So 4, where I can go? I have only one node here to explore, so mark that first. 3, put it into the sequence. Then from 4 draw a edge to 3. Yes, so that is how it is. Now I am at, yes, update the currently working node, then go to 3. Yes. From 3, where I can go? I can go to various places, that is 2 to 10 and 9. So 2 is already visited, so I can go to 10 and 9. Okay, I can go to 10 and 9. Okay, so yes, one second. From the 4, okay, uh, from the 4, you visit to 3. I agree, but you have to see one thing. From 4 next where to go? Okay, from 4 next where to go? So you have to see the queue. Directly see the queue. That's all. Nothing else. In the queue you have 2. So I need to go to 2, not 3. Okay. Yes. So just remove this 2. Remove this and update the pointer to 2. Yes. Okay, next from 2 where you can go? Okay, from 2 where you can go to multiple places, that is 5 8 and 7. 5 8 and 7, I told you no hard and fast rule. No hot and fast rule. You can write it anyhow. 5, 7, 8. You can write it like that also, no problem. Or 5, 8, 9. Okay. So yes. So I will take it like that. 5, 8, 9. Okay. Just to tell you that there is no ordering. 5, 8, 9. 5, 8, not 9, 7. 5, 8, 7. So what you are supposed to do? Right here first. 5, next 8 and 7. So in that same time we are drawing the tree here. So from 2 what you do is nothing but 8, 5, 8 and 7. Okay, this is a tree. Now remember. So that is also over now. So from 2 next where to go? CQ, that's all. CQ. So update from 2 you have to go to 5. So I'm going to 5. If I'm missing anything, okay, if I'm missing anything, remember that. Okay, after 2, in the queue, I guess I have not added 3 there, correct? No, because after when we were solving 1, 4 and 2, we from 4 we had visited 3, so 3 I had not added. Okay, so before 5 there was 3. Okay, there was 3, remember, in the queue. So 3 I will remove first, not 5. So I should not go to 5, I should go to 3. Yes. Now from 3, remove here. Yes, that is important. Q. Okay. From 3, I go to 10 and 9. Okay. From 3, I go to 10 and 9. So what I do is nothing but make it 10 and 9 here. After 7, put 10 and 9 here. From here, put to 10 and 9 here. And connect it. Yes. Okay. Now what next? Yes. Now you have 5. Now you have 5. Go to 5. From go to 5. Okay. So going to 5 means what? Here take this, update 5, remove 5 from here. Okay. And update here. Pointer to 5. From 5 I can go to 6. Okay. Make it as visited. Make from 5 to 6. Okay. And from 9 you go to 6. Yes, so change the to 6. So now you can see from 6 you cannot go anywhere. Simply see the queue. Okay, 5, yeah, 5 from 5 to 6. One second, from 5 to 6 you have to go. Now going means not you have to just update it. From 5 where to go next? That is nothing but you have to see the you have to see the queue. You go to 8. Okay, from 8 you don't have anything there. All others are visited. So from 8 you have to go back to see the queue 7. Okay, from 7 see the queue. Okay, you have to go to 10. So 10 all are visited, so go to 9. 9 all are visited, go to, from 9 where you go? You have gone to 6, correct? No, you have not entered it, and remember to enter it to the queue. So go to 6. Okay, now all 9, 6, as you visit there, just remove it from the queue. Now from 6 all the all the vertices are visited. How do we come to know that all the vertices are visited? We'll come to know because queue is empty now, and so on. So our tree is also drawn, and we also got the output here. So we also got the BFS output, and we have also completed with our tree. Okay, so this is about the spanning tree. Okay, a BFS spanning tree. Yes, now our problem is not over. We also have to understand the DFS one, DFS spanning tree. Okay, DFS spanning tree. So please write this output here. Okay, that is for you. Okay, to understand the BFS spanning tree. Now let us in our worksheet. Now we'll go draw the DFS worksheet. DFS spanning tree. Yes. So hope you have taken all the answers. Hope you have taken all the answers. Yes. Now I will go to DFS1. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just remove this Q first, and we will remove this answer. Okay, and after that we will remove this tree. Now in this place where BFS spanning tree was there, we will go do the DFS spanning tree. DFS spanning tree. Okay, and our output will write here, and we can make our stack here. Now we need stack. Okay, because DFS makes use of the stack. So currently working node first is 1 because I will start from 1. Okay, so write it into the sequence, and you have to draw the 1 first in the tree. Now from 1 we have to go next vertex. So 2 and 4 are there. You can go anywhere. Okay, I can go anywhere. So I will go to 4 next. Once again, I told you there is no hard and fast rule, that you have to go in alphabetical order. Okay, of course 1 is visited, so I'll simply put it in green one. That is nothing but because already 1 I had marked when I had explained you the DFS spanning tree. So now when I'm explaining you the DFS spanning tree, I'll mark it with green. Okay, so 1 is visited. So I'll go to next vertex 4. Okay, so how do I come to know what I have to visit that? Okay, so 4 and 2 are the next vertices there. You can go anywhere, put it into the stack. That is important. So put 4 into the stack. Yes. Now first after 4, where to go next? Okay, where to go next? Of course. So 4 is visited now. And one more thing, what you're supposed to do is nothing but from 1 you need to draw a tree. We are understanding the tree here. 1 to 4. Now from 4 I am going to next vertex. So I can go to only one vertex, that is 3. Okay. So I'll simply mark it. Okay, and I will update there. Okay, from 1 to I had gone to 4. Now I have gone to 3, and I will update it. The pointer. So I'll just update this thing. Yes. Now after that from 3 I have 10 and 9. Okay, let me visit 10. Okay, let me visit 10. So remember here 1 to 4, from 4 to you are gone to 3. Remember that. Stack your update, otherwise your output will be wrong. Okay, one we had gone start first, correct? No, so that let it be first. 1, 4 and 3. After that again from 3 you are going to 10. Okay, so when you are going to 10 you need to update here. Okay, so I have already updated here. Four, 3, yes, and 10 in stack. Yes, it's over. Yes, here also I need to update. Now in 10, yes, I cannot go anywhere. Now I cannot go anywhere. So what I am supposed to do? I have to come back. So when I come back to 3 once again. How will I come to know where to come back? That I'll come to know using the stack. So because from 10, okay, I will remove that element because I cannot go anywhere further. So I have 3 here. So I got to come back to 3. Now from 3, 10 is also already visited. So I'll go to 9. So that from 3 I am going, not from 10. So from 3 you need to mark it. Okay, from 3 you need to mark to 9. From 9, yes, 9 is now visited. Okay, so you can add that to the stack. And of course from 9 I cannot go anywhere. So you need to remove from the stack immediately. Okay, but before that you need to update it here. After 10 you visited 9, remember. So 9 I cannot go anywhere, so I remove that from the stack. So I'll come back once again to 3. Now from 3 I can go where and all I can go. 10, 9 are visited. Yes, I'll go back to 2. I'll go back to 2. So put 2 into the stack. So also write it here 2. Also you need to, from 3 you are going to 2. Make it like this. Yes. After you have to draw. Now my currently working node is 2. Okay, yes, I have visited that. I'll just mark it in green. From 2 I have can go to 5, 7 and 8. I can go anywhere. Okay, I can go anywhere. Okay, let me go to 8. Let me go to 8. I told you you can select anything. Let me go to 8. Okay, so I visited 8 now. Put it here. So from where I have gone to 8? From 2 I have gone to 8. Remember that, not from 3. So 2 to 8. I have drawn 8 now. Yes, so in my output this red green, don't get confused with red green. Okay, I'll make it red only. 8. From 2 to 8. So put it here, 8. From 8 where we can go, see, we can go to 7 from 8. Okay, we can go to 7, so put 7 here in the stack. Okay, and update. From 8 you can go to 7, also here 7. Okay, stack you already updated. Yes, this you need to update, correct? No, 7. From 7 you can go to, yes, this is up to, we could make it 7 is visited. 7 to where you can go, all are visited. 5, go back to 4 to 5. Okay, update 5 here, then write 5 here and draw 5 here. Yes, so from 5 where you can go, all are visited. From 5 you have to go to 6. That's why is visited, so go to 6. Now 6 is also visited, so I put it into the stack. Okay, now I'll put it into the share this thing, I mean into your output list, and also put it into the tree. Okay, yes, so that's the way. Now from 6 can you go anywhere? You cannot go anywhere. Okay, so come back to 5. So from 5 can you go come back anywhere? No, from 5 you cannot go because all are visited. Go back, I mean push 5, I mean pop 5. From 5, when you pop 5 you have 7. From 7 now also there is nothing, all are visited, so pop 7. Then go come to 8. From 8 you have nothing, all are visited, pop 8. Then from 8 2. From 2 can you go to any vertex? No, all are visited, pop 2. Then come to 3. Okay, 3 all are visited, all vertices are visited, pop 3. Come to 4. From 4 all are visited. Okay, pop 4. Then come back to 1. From 1 also, of course, it is a starting one. You need not write it in the stack. Okay, I added later on. No problem. From 1 you cannot go anywhere now. Okay, so pop 1. Okay, so whatever you got now, stack is empty, which will tell the algorithm that stop. So this is the tree which is the tree which you get now using the DFS algorithm, that is called as the DFS spanning tree. That is called as the DFS spanning tree. Okay, so that is how you do the spanning tree, students. Please take down the output. Please take down the output. Okay, yes. So what is the main difference between the BFS and DFS? Okay, in DFS, when you go to a new vertex, you have to explore that new vertex and go to next vertex. Whereas in BFS, it's not like that. You have to when you go to any particular vertex, from there all other near vertexes you need to write. Okay, so then how to go to next vertex? That you have to see the queue, and in queue whichever is there, to that vertex you have to go. Okay, and in DFS it is nothing but your how to come back to which vertex, how will you come to know? That is using stack in DFS. That is a difference. Okay, so that is about the spanning tree. Okay, concepts. So right now we have understood the spanning tree and how to draw the normal spanning tree, how to draw the spanning tree, DFS spanning tree and BFS spanning tree, and in spanning tree in general. And always remember how much number of vertices are there, one edge less than that. Now you can see here you have how many vertex? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 vertex. Correct, no? If 9 vertex, well, let us count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 10 vertex. So that's why I told you. Let's count again. 10 vertex. How many edge? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 edge. Yes, it is a spanning tree. It is a spanning tree. In spanning tree, no cycles and one edge less than a vertex. Remember that. Okay. Yes. So that is about spanning tree concept. Next we'll I will let next we'll study about your last concept, that is biconnected graph. So what is biconnected graph? Okay. So biconnected graph is nothing but, so before that we need to understand couple of concepts before we understand the biconnected graph. We will understand what is called as articulation point. Now what is articulation point? Okay, let us read the theory first. Vertex V of G. Okay, so G is a graph. Vertex V is one vertex in G, such that all the deletion of V together with all edges incident on V produces a graph G dash that has at least two connected components. So students, here articulation point is a point. So when you remove an edge in that point, it will break the graph into two pieces. So that is articulation point. Now you see in this example we have 1, 3, 5 and 7. These are the articulation points. Why? Because if you remove one, okay, if you remove one vertex and all the edges which are together, I mean which are incident on one, it will break the 0 and the remaining graph into two pieces. You can see there G dash. Okay, 0 is a separate graph and this 2, 3, 4 and that remaining thing is a separate graph. Similarly, if you take 3 and all the edges incident on it, what happens? Okay, what happens? It will break into two pieces. Okay, so how will it be the new piece when you break G? Okay, so when you remove 3, what happens? When you remove 3, it will cause 1. Okay, 0. First is 0. One piece is 0, 1. Then it will come to 2. It will come to 4. This is one graph. Okay, and these all other edges will go. Okay, and another graph is nothing but, so this is say G dash, which is equal to, another piece is nothing but 5. Okay, 7, 6. Okay, 9 and 8. So two graphs are created here. That is called as articulation point. Such points. Okay, now 2 is not an articulation point. Why? Because if you remove 2, it will be a single graph only. Okay, it will remove a single graph only. But if you remove 1, 3, 5 or 7, it will break the entire graph into two pieces. So 1 and 3 I have shown you, 5 and 7 you can try. Okay, you can try. You can draw this graph and you can try. So 5 also, if you remove, two graphs will be there. Okay, one is this one and one is this one, this graph, two pieces. That is on removal of 5, on removal of 5. Similarly 7 also like that. 8 and 9 will be different pieces. Okay, 7 if you remove, of course it will give you three graphs. Okay, so that is the concept, okay, of the articulation point. What is biconnected graph? It is a connected graph that has no articulation point. So a graph can be a biconnected graph only when it does not have any articulation point. So you can, if you remove any edge here, okay, and a vertex, then it will not create a two graph. Okay, if you say if you remove 7, that is gone, but there will be a single thing. So say for example, on removal of 1, I will show you. On removal of 7, what will happen? 7 if you remove, okay, you will get one graph. Say it will be like this. That's all. 5 and 6. That's all. It's a single graph. So it is a biconnected graph. So this is a biconnected graph. Say if you remove 1, what happens if you remove 1? If you remove 1, it will be single graph only. Okay, on removal of 1, last one, I'll show you. On removal of 1, somewhere in between I will remove. Okay, 1. So it will be a single graph only. Because see 0, 2, then it will go to 6, then it will go to 7. Okay, then from 2 it will go to 5, it will go to 7. Okay, that's it. From 7, this 3 and 4 will be connected. Remember, because I am not removing 7 there. Together I am not removing. Okay, so this is the graph on removal of 1. Okay, so it is a biconnected graph. This is a biconnected graph. Okay, so it should not have articulation point because no articulation point here. No articulation point. So what is biconnected component? So it is a maximum biconnected subgraph H of G. Okay, so these are all the different components. Okay, maximum components by connected components. Okay. Yes. Thank you, students. So that's all we have from this video. Thank you.